Hello.
We're in the middle of a 4-week massive whole house renovation. It's been going okay so far. We've ripped off the roof, we've built a new dormer, we've done a really complicated retrofit system. We have exploded in energy.
Morning.
The boys have been doing a massive job. It's been long days. We've got a huge episode coming up where we're doing kitchens, floors, got to get over a few challenges. Come with us on a journey, let's get into it. We've finished off last week and we've just got all of the windows in. So now, on our journey to finishing, let's start off with the trims on the outside and go from there. How these trims are installed is by using a glue on the back side of the plastic. This is a really awkward little detail because it's where the plastic windows meets the brick. We want to try and make it look good, but as you can see, the bay windows are hitting into the brick in a really peculiar angle. So between a mixture of Insta-Stick foam, glue, whole bunch of patience, they all go on, and I think it actually looks quite tidy. With the trims done on the side, Toby, like we spoke about last week, is now mucking in underneath the sill between the LED flashing and the bottom of the plastic windowsill. This will give us a really lovely finish in between the LED and the plastic. On the opposite side where the boys are fitting the trim, Jaden's had to come inside and strip this wood chip wallpaper. It's an absolute horrible job because this stuff is stuck real good to it and you can't plaster over top of it. Now in the top right hand corner of your screen, you'll see a little bit of a hole. That was caused way back in day one when we were putting in the lintel. This means poor old Jaden's gonna rip all of this wallpaper off so that we can plaster it because the plaster can't go on top of the wallpaper. With Jaden doing the horrible job up top, let's talk about another horrible job downstairs. If you remember in last episode, you would have seen Sammy and Jaden putting on the plasterboard on the ceiling. Well, they've also done this room, as you can see. So Lee Marks is waiting for us to do some prep. So Guy, Callum and Alberto, who you're going to meet more of later.
Float it? Are you floating it with a magnesium floater?
They're getting the room prepped so that we can give Lee access because the ceilings are actually quite tall in this. Sometimes you can just do it off a hop-up. We're going to have to build a little platform. The process of plastering is exactly the same as the other rooms. You've got 2 layers of about 1.52mm multi-finish gypsum based plaster. Now it's mixed up in a bucket and then it's troweled on in order to give you your finish. Now most plasterers have got their own technique. Lee's our guy, we've used him for years. He's going to do the beads first if there are any, then he's going to tape the joins, then he's going to mix up in his big bucket and apply it on by trowel. Once it's had some time to go off, he's going to then smooth it all out, put another layer on, and then he may even use a speed skim. It's a bit controversial, that one, but he seems to do a pretty good job of it. So we trust him to do it, and he is flying. Get on, Lee. One of the general themes you'll pick up throughout this video is there's lots of little areas. We've got the hallway that needs to be plastered. Lee's doing evenings for us, so that means we can get a whole bunch of work done during the day. Because if he was plastering in this area during the day, no one else would be able to get anywhere in the top floor and that doesn't work. So he's gonna come in, prep the area here. This is slightly different than what it is when you're on fresh plasterboard because you have to PVA the walls and let that soak into it. Otherwise your plaster won't bond to the existing walls of the house. So he's done the front bedroom, now he's up into here, and I'm pretty sure he's only got a couple of little bits left.
Then we come out here, hey, holiday mode guy. What are you up to, Toe?
Trying to fit a door. Trying to fit the old door anyway.
There we go.
Fun and games.
It's going back in that hole. It's a bit snug, but we'll get it in.
With Toby outside putting the sill on the door, it's now time to get it in. Now this door was really tight and it was being reused from the old house. So there was a bit of finadoodling, a bit of finagling, and it was really snug in the hole. So the boys probably had to put it in about 4 or 5 times, a bunch of adjustments on the brickwork and then a shave here and a push there. And before you know it, it's in the hole. Thank goodness for that. We've got a couple of things we need to do on the floor. Step number 1 is for us to get a leveling compound down where the 2 floors meet. Now last week, Sammy built the floor in the utility and raised that all up. The old floor in the dining room isn't perfectly flat. So before we do that, we have to put a leveling compound down where the 2 floors meet so that that transition between the utility into the dining room is nice and smooth. The leveling compound, again, is a mix it up in a bucket and then trowel it on the floor. You can feather it out really smooth as it goes towards the middle of the dining room. We need it to be smooth because this laminate floor is being glued down and it's not very thick, so it won't hide very much. Before Josh starts laying the floor, we have to work out the bond. Now what's a bond, James?
Bond.
What a bond is a thickness or the depth of the planks that you're putting down across the width of the entire room. Now it's important that you get the bond right when you're traveling between, in our case, the hallway into the dining room. Otherwise you could end up with a tiny little cut right on the edge, which is going to be A, not stable enough when you glue it down, and B, it's going to look pretty stink. So Josh is laying out in the hallway first because that's the most awkward bit, and then he'll space those tiles in the hallway in order to make the edge in the dining room look way better. Once he's got his bond sorted, he can then simply trowel the glue onto the floor and then push the floor onto the glue. Simple process.
Hey, that's my line.
I'm really sorry about what you're about to see next.
One LVT floor. Kind of. Nearly done.
For anyone who's ever laid a floor or tiles or any type of blocks or bricks, one thing you'll note is that some areas go really quickly and some areas don't. You can lay a huge volume of flooring really quickly as long as you're in a big room. As soon as you get into the fiddly bits, it slows down massively. Now that Josh has got the floor down over the majority of that room and he's mucking around with the fiddly bits, we've got to get started outside. What the boys are doing is bringing in some of the external insulation for the back wall. We've got to start thinking about now in order to get us to this 4-week challenge that we've got to get through. So Josh is going to keep laying the floor, the insulation's been bored in, and we're going to carry that out the back and then start fixing that. There's nothing more fun than when you're trying to lay a floor, people trying to walk on it and bring materials through. Unfortunately, this is the only access we've got, so as you can see, there's some insulation that's been bored in and leant up against the wall. That's for the back wall, and the only way to get it through is either through the kitchen where Rowan's working, or through the utility where Josh is working.
Nearly there, nearly there. Do you like Sammy? I love Sammy.
Meanwhile, on the other side of that wall, our lovely kitchen has started to go in. Fitting a kitchen is always one of the most exciting parts of any project. Now we've got our mate Rowan Roberts. He's coming in to fit this for us because we were a bit tight on men. He does a really good job, and well, fitting a kitchen is a bit of an art. So you can see there the green line, that's his laser setup, and similar to what Sammy did when he was building the floor last week, we're going to use that as our datum. That's going to give us a level line all the way around the room for us to adjust the feet of the base units to get it all so that it's all going to be nice, level and flat. Once he's done one side, Rowan then moves on to the other side using the same level line. That's going to mean that both sides of the worktop, because this is a galley style kitchen, both sides of them are going to be exactly the same height. Now the units are slotted into place and then screwed through to tie it all together to essentially make one big row of cabinets. Once he's got the bottom carcasses in, he's then going to start on the wall units. These are arguably the hardest ones because the adjustment is in actually the little bracket that gets bolted onto the wall, and then you can adjust it out of there. But similar to the base units, he's put them all up first and then put them all together. We're going to see a little bit more about that later on. It's starting to look really good. Now, contrary to popular belief, fitting a kitchen doesn't all happen like it does on YouTube in one day. So you'll see Rowan back and forth, the sun will go down, it'll come up, it'll go down, it'll come up. It's gonna take him about 4 days to put this kitchen in. There's lots of little details that you don't normally see, but the details matter. Have a watch of how this thing goes together. With the units all in, you'd think we're gonna have more space around the place in order to fit the rest of it. But as you can see, space becomes a real hard thing to find when you're putting in a kitchen. There's doors, there's trims, there's plinths, there's appliances. You need a whole nother room the same size, if not bigger than the kitchen, in order to put a kitchen in. We've set up a temporary workspace. That seems to be the best way to do it. It means you've got something that can protect all the units and the cupboards, because these are the finished product, so you have to be really gentle with them. Screwing on the latches onto the back of the cupboard doors, putting the handles on. Again, it all takes space and you need somewhere flat to work. With Rowan taking up all the space on pretty much most of the ground floor, the boys have jumped back upstairs in order to finish off that bedroom where Jaden was stripping the wallpaper in before. Pete mentioned before that Lee could only give us some evening time due to space, so last night he's come in and done this room, but it didn't quite get to where we needed it to. So Toby's going to come in, just add a little bit more what we call feathering, which is where you take the plaster and essentially get it down to 0 so that it's not visible after it's been painted. It's a real art there, and Toby's got a great attention to detail. Hey Josh.
Hello.
You're old.
I know, mate, innit? 40. Look 40.
You don't look a day over 39, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, g'day. Just calling about your protective film. Oh no, that's right. We'll just peel it off and take half the plaster with us. Awesome. 2 things about that clip. First thing, it was Josh's birthday. Happy birthday, Josh.
Okay, birthday boy. It's okay, birthday.
Second thing, the protective film gets put on windows to protect it. But when you're working towards the finish, there comes a time where you have to stop protecting it because it's the finish. If you don't take the protective film off, you're relying on the sticky part of the film to hold the plaster to the window. What we should have done here is we should have removed the film first. So now the boys are going to have to pull it all off after making a cut, and it will hold, but they've got more work to do on it, which really makes me annoyed because it takes 10 seconds to take it off. Anyway, rant over. Moving on.
Morning, Toby. What are you up to today?
I am plastering in there. Plastering this wall, as you can see, and up there, where we've had to take off the original cladding and re-insulate it and plaster all up.
Well done, Tobes. Enjoy.
Thank you.
I'm not sure how enjoyable plastering is, but Toby's pretty good at it, so he normally gets lumped with it. So we only had a little bit to do in this room, which was around the door that we put in and on top of the door going from this space into the dining room. Hello Toby!
Good afternoon.
How are you?
Not bad, how are you?
Good, are you having a lovely time?
I'm having a lovely time.
Lovely!
You having a lovely time?
I'm having a lovely time.
Lovely.
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 Now that the boys are having such a lovely time, Toby's got to finish off the plastering in a few areas. He's got the utility to do, as well as the little landing up by the stairs, and he's got to finish off where Lee finished last night.
I am picking up where Lee left off. Do a bit more skimming.
Yeah, a little bit of skimming. Lee didn't get done last night, so he's got a little bit in here. Then we just got a little bit on the ceiling, guys. A little bit down the reveal. Once that's done, that's all the skimming upstairs done. A couple of little reveals to get done downstairs as well. Josh is on sills, so that sill will be going in today. So with these, what we'll do is pop down and see him, see what he's up to.
So while Josh has finished cleaning off the floor and laying the last boards, out the front we're finally getting rid of this massive skip that's been parked out on the front of the road. Now because we're getting towards the end of the project, we don't need a skip anymore, which is always a great sign. We're going to start the retrofit process on the back of this wall. Now what's retrofit? Retrofit is an insulation on the external of the brickwork of the building. Now why do you put it on the external? Well, quite simply in order to give us enough space inside. Now these houses aren't massive, but we need them to be warm. Instead of shrinking the walls down on the internal, so that means you have to remove things like showers and toilets because you need to make the wall thicker, we're going to put the insulation on the outside and then render over it. The first step Cal's got to get done here is he's got to get this lime coat on. Now the lime coat, similar to inside, is to flatten out all of that brickwork, some of it which isn't great as we saw in the last episode. This gives us a flat surface in order to be able to fix our insulation to and prevent any air from being trapped in behind the insulation.
Alright, so
It's got a consistency.
me and Toby are out here doing some lovely line work, rendering. We've got Alberto here, aka Pablo, mixing up some, well, what is supposed to be some lime for us. But we don't know what he's done wrong. It's going to as he recalls it, yes, technical issues. But this has gone past technical. Maybe that'll be good for tomorrow, we'll see. What's the technical issues we're having?
No, look at the boys are doing a great job. I mean, you can just see the quality here. I mean, look at that. It's in there, mate. What else are you guys doing today?
Finish off this lime render. Get it off nice and flat. Float it, sponge it up.
Float it? Are you floating it with a magnesium floater?
You'll pick up on a general theme with building products. The process for doing the lime render is to mix it up with a power whisk in a bucket, let it settle so that all the air bubbles come out. It then gets transferred onto a hawk, which is the thing that you hold in one hand, and then you can use the hawk and the trowel together in order to apply it to the building. Well, once it's applied to the building, you can then go along and trowel it so that it's flat, and then as Cal says, float it, which means you take a float and you flatten the whole surface out using circular motions.
With a magnesium floater?
Right then, what are we doing, Toby? We are putting these... we're putting
These fancy bell
these fancy bell casts down at the bottom of the wall. Look at this.
That will hold our insulated board.
Insulated boarding.
Insulated board.
And if you come up to the ladder.
Come up here.
And we've done it up here. And this one we've had to follow down the wall. We've got these. How's that going, Toby?
Absolutely lovely. I love this system so much.
It's a new one for us. Never done it before.
Shut your mouth.
That's what. This is what Josh thinks of all the noise.
Go on.
Again.
Shut the up.
Don't mean to scare you guys, but Christmas is almost upon us. We have noticed that the boys' language has been going from bad to really bad to absolutely horrendous. So what we're gonna do is every time Max has to put in a and you guys watch it, we're going to donate £1 to the Exeter Food Bank. Now, if you guys want to do the same thing, we're going to leave a link down in the description. It's a nice way to give back. I'm sorry about all the swearing. It's getting worse. We do have a team meeting on Friday, and that is going to be one of the things we are going to talk about. The reason why we've installed those metal beads at the bottom is that it's going to be a support for the next step, which is the installation of our insulation. It's funny how the word insulation. Anyway, the stuff that keeps the house warm is fixed to the building using an SDS drill, a 6mm bit, and then those thermally insulated screws that you would have seen us use in the last episode. This product is a tongue and groove product, so you start at the bottom, fix it in, and then you can lay it up so that the grooves meet into the tongues.
Here we have the apprentice getting his certificate in learning to climb a ladder. 4 points of contact the whole way up, okay?
4 points of contact the whole way up, okay?
Here we have Fireman Sam.
Once all the insulation's fixed, it's now a time to put a elasticated metal lathing, which is like a mesh that goes on the outside of the OSB of the insulation in order to accept and adhere to the next layer of render. It would be really nice if I was able to show you some footage of this, but unfortunately we don't have it.
Good morning. So the past couple of days we have been putting this base coat of render on. The plan today was to top coat it, but as you can see the weather has not allowed us to do that. So we got to hold it off for a day or so, hoping the rain will go away. If not, we're gonna have to rig some sort of tarpaulin up to cover it. I'm thinking from the roof, folding down over the scaffold, so we shall see.
Unfortunately, we weren't able to cover up like what Cal says, so what we've done is we've just jumped inside. The weather forecast for tomorrow is looking way better, so we're just going to hold off one day. It puts a bit of pressure on time frames, but it's only one day. Meanwhile, the guys from Teen Deck have arrived. They're going to start doing the prep for the painting. What we like to do is get something called a mist coat on. Now what that is that's like a diluted paint that goes on to bare plaster. It's really important. It's probably the most important step because it adheres into the new plaster. It has more water in it than what it does paint, so it kind of soaks in. That creates a bond between the next layer of paint and the new plaster. Once you've got that on, it's sand, paint, sand, paint. With the boys upstairs cracking on with the painting, we've finally got a break in that weather, and look, the time pressure's on. We've got to get this stuff on. We're hoping, fingers crossed, toes crossed, knees crossed, legs crossed, hoping to get a break in the weather for long enough for this time to go off. So, the final coat has a tint in it. The tint in this case is a blue colour, chosen by the client, goes into a bucket, gets mixed up, and then hawk and trowel, just like we were doing with plaster, floated. It's going to look lovely.
Lovely blue.
I'm blue,
Here we can see our latest avatar. He's busy cracking on with his little mate Cal.
Balls are getting replaced.
Yeah, the rendering avatar.
In the sunshine, shirtless blue avatars.
Yeah, lovely weather for it now.
What we do, we become Smurfs. Get on. Teamwork makes the dream work, boys and girls. So yeah, poor old Cal had a good go earlier. And then out of nowhere, we had a massive thunderstorm, which then got some of the bottom all washed off. So a bit of a bummer, but these things happen. Now look at the weather, beautiful sunshine.
With the boys outside fixing Mother Nature's little ha 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 at you at the bottom of the render, let's jump inside and have a look at the carpets. It ties everything together. We're really lucky. We've got a company we've worked with for ages called Salton Mills. They look after all of our carpets. They're going to come and fit out the whole house. They're starting in this front room. Process, gripper rods. Gripper rods are nasty. They're like the wasp of the building world. Gripper rods get hit down with a nail into the floorboards underneath. Once they're in, you can then cut your insulation or your underlay around the gripper rods. Once that's all done, you can then bring the carpet in, roughly cut. you can trim the edges, and then it's a case of using a really funky little tool which you bash with your knee. That stretches the carpet out onto the gripper rods. As it retracts in, it uses the gripper rods to hold tight. Now, like I said, we've got the whole house to do. The boys are going to break it off into sections. Some of it goes really quickly, some of it takes ages. Have a guess which bit takes ages. With the stairs all done, we finish off with the loft. Obviously the biggest, easiest space for the guys to do. It looks great. It is the finish of the finish. The paint's on, the lights are in, the carpet's down. Holy moly. Before we show you what the end looks like, there's a few people that I just want to say thank you to. First of all, to the boys and girls of Silver Fern, thank you so much for all your hard work. I know it was hard, but we got through it. To all of you guys at home that have watched us throughout this whole thing, thank you very much. It does mean a lot to us. To all of our wonderful subcontractors, the electricians, Rowan the kitchen fitter, Teen Deck for doing the painting, Lee Marks, both the roofer and Lee Marks the plasterer, Josh Glenn Roofing for getting us sorted. Scaffolders, can't forget the scaffolders. Without you, we literally can't do anything. But thank you guys for all your hard work. It's been a wicked journey. We're really excited. It's just come together so well. Pete's done a wicked job of doing all the stuff behind the scenes. Donna to get this whole thing planned, and to our lovely clients, thank you very, very much for choosing us. The amount of people that you guys have helped put food on their table, we really appreciate it. So, with that being said, let's come and have a look around. If you're enjoying this or you've learned something, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. It doesn't cost you anything, but it means loads to us. Love you, bye!